Canada isn't a rich country anymore. It's a luxury prison with polite branding. If you've got kids, you better hope they love misery, because their future, it's 2 hours a day trapped in traffic just to collapse into a 500 square foot shoebox that they'll never own. That's not stability. That's a life sentence with maple syrup on top. They give you a Tim Hortons coffee and a pat on the head while they chain you to a lifetime of debt. Here's the forbidden truth. This government isn't managing the economy. It's burning it to the ground. 61% of GDP just to keep the corpse twitching. That's not prosperity, that's life support. And it gets even darker because the US just dropped a 25% tariff like a steel boot on Canada's neck. That ripple isn't abstract. It's about to crush your job, explode your rent, gut your grocery bill, and erase your retirement before you even get there.
But let's talk about the retirement age because it's going up.
You're not in the middle class. You're not safe. You're not stable. You're on the Titanic.
The ship can't sink. She's made of iron, sir. I assure you she can, and she will. Just a mathematical certainty.
And Carney just sold the life rafts to foreign investors. If you don't stick around for what I reveal at the end of this video, your family's future sinks to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean right alongside you. You'll never see it coming, and by the time you do, it's already too late. Let's set the battlefield. Housing is untouchable, rent is unlivable, wages are laughable, and taxes, you're paying 50% just so the government can give you free healthcare. With wait times so long, you'll die in the waiting room. Canada's version of prosperity is a Ponzi scheme, and the payout already ran dry. Meanwhile, what is the media telling you? Everything is fine, just keep renting, smile more, it's safe up here. Yeah, safe from what? Owning anything, having a future? This is why no one trusts the system anymore. Because the system is rigged to keep you poor and polite about it. Let me paint you a real picture. Canada has 41 million people. And in the last 2 years, we brought in millions more immigrants with no plan for jobs, housing, or infrastructure. Now every subway's packed, every ER is collapsing, and every real estate deal is getting snapped up by people with offshore money and zero intention of living here. This isn't immigration, it's asset colonization. You're not buying real estate in this country anymore. You're renting it back from global capital with your own tax dollars. Still think we're a rich country? Let me hit you with a stat that should make your blood boil. Over 2 million food bank visits were recorded in a single month, and 1/3 of those people had jobs. That's how deep we are in the lie. And what is the government doing? Doubling down, printing more money, taxing more people.
The average family in Canada spent about $48,000 in total taxes last year. Canadian families spent more on taxes than housing, food, and clothing combined. Taxes have grown faster than any other expenditure, going up by more than 2,700%.
Policies that serve no one except the professional class and the foreign elite. Let me say it louder for you guys in the back. This country is not broke. It's just being looted in broad daylight.
It's harder to reflect on the truth.
If you're still watching, you're one of the only ones who can actually handle the truth. Most can't. They'll call this negative. They'll say you're being dramatic. Nah, I'm being accurate. You know what's dramatic? Spending $3,200 a month on rent for a 2-bedroom condo in Toronto while making $55 grand a year and paying 48% tax. That's not drama, and it ends with your family broke and your kids in debt for life. Let's talk productivity. Canada's not growing, we're not building, we're not investing, we're decaying. We're one of the worst performing G7 economies post-2008 because we choose bailouts over business and ideology over infrastructure. This wasn't bad luck, it was engineered failure. Productivity is flatlined, wages are stagnant, and our business investment is a joke compared to the US, Germany, even Japan. Why? Because we punish success here. You try to win, we tax it, regulate it, and smear you for being greedy. So all the top talent, they leave. All the capital, it flows south. Canada exports its best people and imports its worst policies. But it gets even worse because now we've got tariffs. You know what that means? Thousands of jobs at risk, entire industries on life support. And what is Ottawa's solution? A 2-year freeze on foreign homebuyers after the damage has already been done? They're not leaders, they're janitors trying to sweep up the ashes of a fire that they lit themselves. Look at the mortgage system. Canada doesn't do 30-year fixed terms like the US. We do 5-year resets. which means every 5 years, your life is up for auction. One interest rate hike and your payment jumps $800 overnight. You're not a homeowner, you're a hostage. And let's not forget this one. The average Canadian household is more indebted than the average American was before the 2008 crash. Read that again. We're living in a system more fragile than the one that collapsed Wall Street. But everyone's pretending like it's fine because our banks haven't failed yet. It's coming. And when it hits, don't say you weren't warned. If you've been sitting here thinking, wait, how did it get this bad? Here's your answer. We bet everything on one customer, the US. And now that customer is cutting us off. And while Americans are locking into 30-year mortgages, we're out here praying our renewal doesn't bankrupt us. This is not what a rich country looks like. And if you're still watching right now, you already know the system is not built for people like you. It's built to extract from you. But here's the way out. You either play offense or you get priced out. That's why we built a free buyer's guide. Buying in Canada right now feels next to impossible. But did you know that some Canadian buyers are getting 100% commission rebates with more than $25,000 going straight back into their pockets? Click the link below to find out. You want to know how all this ends? Simple. The middle class gets deleted. You'll own nothing, and not because you're some enlightened hipster, but because you got outbid by a number of companies. The Canadian economy isn't declining. It's being hollowed out, top to bottom, by people who don't play by the rules you do. And here's the real kicker. People in power know exactly what they're doing. They just don't care because collapse is profitable if you're the one selling the lifeboats. Carney doesn't feel your mortgage pain. Chrystia Freeland never had to pack a lunch and wonder if she can afford gas. The Bank of Canada isn't sweating rate hikes. They're controlling them. You think they're trying to fix this? No. They're just monetizing the slow death of the country. Let's go deeper. Why do we keep hearing Canada has strong fundamentals? It's because lies sell better than panic. They tell you unemployment is low, but what they don't say is that half the job growth is government payroll and gig work. Uber drivers, Amazon packers, junior bureaucrats. This is not an economy. It's a patchwork of paychecks duct taped together to hide the rot underneath. And the banks, let's talk about them. Canada's big five banks are leveraged beyond belief, stacked with variable rate mortgages that look fine on paper, but collapse the second another rate hike hit. You know why they haven't failed yet? Because the government is propping them up quietly while pretending everything's normal. We're in 2007 all over again, except this time it's not Wall Street, it's Bay Street. And instead of subprime credit, we've got $900,000 mortgages on detached homes in cities like Hamilton and Oshawa, bought by two teachers with a line of credit. You still think this ends well? It doesn't. It ends in a generation locked out, taxed to death, and lied to. It ends with people earning $80K and feeling poor. It ends with boomers pulling up the ladder and telling everyone else to work harder. And the worst part? The people getting crushed the hardest blame themselves. Because we've been taught that if we can't make it work, it's our fault. Not the system, not the policies, not the broken framework. No, it's you. You didn't budget enough. You bought coffee. You didn't hustle. What a load of shit. No amount of side hustles will fix this. You can't TikTok your way out of structural collapse. You can't Shopify your way out of a system built to milk you dry. But here's what you're not ready for. The awakening is already happening. And people waking up aren't just pissed. They're starting to take action. Buying assets, converting cash out of Canadian, pulling money from a rigged Canadian system and putting it where it actually grows. And yeah, I know some of you are thinking, but I love Canada. I want to fight for this country. So do I. But here's the difference between fighting for your future and voluntarily bleeding for a system that would happily bury your kids in debt for life if it kept the bank happy for another quarter. In the US, you can still buy a cash flowing asset with a 30-year fixed term. You can access better tax incentives, better amortization, and better appreciation in growth states like Texas and Florida. Meanwhile, in Canada, you're buying a 1970s triplex in Oshawa for $1.2 million with a 5-year term at 5.5% with negative cash flow. You're not investing, you're volunteering for financial suicide. But here's the kicker. If you're still watching right now, it's because you're one of the very few people not numbered by propaganda. And if you are, good. That means you're dangerous to the system because awareness equals action equals economic freedom. Let me show you exactly how that happens. See, when I said earlier, you're on the Titanic and Carney just sold the life rafts to foreign investors. That wasn't a metaphor. That was a roadmap. You want to know how it actually plays out? Here's how. Those lifeboats are commission rebates, the secret cash most buyers don't even know exists. The 100% refunds going to the few buyers smart enough to actually take them. That's $25,000 or more going back into the pockets of the ones who read between the lines, while everyone else drowns in closing costs. Most don't offer it. They don't want you to know it exists because the system depends on your ignorance. This isn't just about money, it's about control. Every dollar you save is a dollar that doesn't serve the system. Every rebate you claim is a quiet act of war against the people who spent 15 years siphoning your future. So what do? You arm yourself, you grab the blueprint, you learn how it works before they plug the leak and kill the loophole. Because here's the final truth. You think things are bad now? Wait until your mortgage renews and your kid needs braces and your car breaks down and your savings are worth less every month because the Bank of Canada is silently printing money in the background. If you don't know how to fight that, you're done. But if you do, you win. That's why I made this guide. Not a pitch, not a talk in circles, not to set up a call and waste your time, but to hand you the playbook, the same one smart buyers are using to put up to $25,000 or more back in their pocket. Because once you see how it works, you'll never unsee it. Governments are already eyeing changes, and brokerages are tightening the rules. This isn't going to stay wide open forever, but today it's still alive. So here's the move. Click the link, grab the guide, and make sure you're one of the ones that doesn't end up renter for life.